Hi again, this is Ben Schwartz, continuing the talk about how to use EFT tapping in a deeper way to work with the actual root memories of a trauma that have created or contributed to a pain condition in the body, the experience of physical pain. In the previous video, I talked about getting into the specific details of a memory. Now, we're going to assume here that you've already identified an experience, a traumatic experience, that happened sometime just before or close to the time that you began to see symptoms develop of some kind of physical pain. So you already know what is a likely target memory to work with. Another possibility would be that it showed up, it manifested some time later, maybe even years later, but something about the symptoms triggered the memory. Maybe while you were talking about your symptoms, there was something that was a cue that made you think about the original trauma, and you found a connection there. In any case, we're going to assume we know what is a likely memory, and I'm going to say a little bit and demonstrate a little bit of how you would tap through that on your own. As I said before, working with a practitioner who really knows what they're doing will always go far deeper and help you resolve things in a much more thorough and quicker way. But if you're doing this on your own, I'll use the example of going through a wildfire, which we had here in Santa Rosa just last year, and a lot of people were extremely traumatized by that experience. So this is a hypothetical case I'm making up here. Let's say somebody has chronic headaches, chronic migraines that began to show up shortly after the wildfires ripped through our town and people had to evacuate. And let's say that the person in question has some vivid memories of escaping from the fires, and every time they talk about those memories, they actually get more pain. Let's say these are headaches that come and go, but they can stay around for days, and it just so happens that as I'm talking to this person about their memory of the fire, their head begins to hurt a lot, and it gets increasingly more painful. So we know there's this connection. And so we want to take a very specific segment of memory, not more than a few minutes in length, and we track through that memory until we get to the first moment of intensity, what we call an emotional crescendo. And as we get to that point, I would have you focus on that detail, describe it, or close your eyes and visualize it and see how intense is it. And as you do so, notice what it feels like in the body. There might be sensations that arise. Maybe the pain in the head becomes more noticeable. There might be an emotion that arises. Whatever it is, there could be a feeling of energy or heat or some other kind of bodily sensation. We take all of that detail and we begin to tap. And this is just an example. Even though I'm thinking about the flames that I saw when I opened the door, and I feel this heat rising in my body, and this pain in the center of my head and in my temples, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel this intense pressure in my head as I'm seeing the flames outside my door, I deeply and completely accept myself. The flames outside my door, this pressure in my head, the flames outside my door, this intense pressure in my head, pressure in my temples. I feel this pain and pressure in my head, seeing the flames outside my door. There's pressure in my head. The flames outside my door. And take a deep breath. Let it out. Now it really is more or less a misconception that EFT is so simple that one round of tapping is going to eliminate anything that you work on. It just usually doesn't work that fast. But we go back to the details of what we just tapped about. We look at it again, visualize it, describe it again. Again, rate the intensity. Maybe last time it was an 8, and maybe the pain in the head was a 7. So we go through it again, we focus on the images, see what it is now. Maybe that number is less clear, less intense, and especially bring attention to the physical feeling, since we're working with pain. What's the pain in the head now? We would hope that it would be lower. Usually it would be. On occasion, that pain may move to other parts of the body, or it could get even more intense for a moment, or the quality of it could change. If any of those things happen, we just stay with what it is in a very mindful way. We describe whatever that present feeling is, and we tap through it again, even though this feeling has moved to the back of my head, and the pain is at a level of 8. I deeply and completely accept myself. This pain in the back of my head, this pain in the back of my head, seeing the flames, and so on. Moving through it, take a deep breath. Again, refocus on the image, check out the feeling, see what it is now. This process could take a number of different rounds of tapping, peeling away layers. As the energy and the feelings move, the sensations change. They may move around the body, but eventually it will almost certainly diminish more and more. And if you're persistent and you stay with it and you don't rush ahead too quickly, but stay with each moment as it comes up, getting it to a 0. And once that feels like no pain, as you focus on the moment in the memory, the details, you might want to then visualize through the rest of the scene and see if that brings anything up. If it doesn't, then that's pretty complete, and very good chance that that has broken the cycle of pain. There might be other memories associated with the pain that you would want to check out and think about and evaluate, but sometimes it really is about one traumatic memory, and resolving that memory also resolves the pain permanently. Stay tuned. I'll be making many more videos on working with pain, as well as a variety of other issues using EFT tapping. Thank you for watching.